Good afternoon. This is your handy dandy ESOL teacher. I'm here to talk to you about some Kagan strategies today. That's Kagan. I have shared these on Google with you. I sent an email about that earlier. If you can't get to them, let me know. Kagan strategies go very well with PSYOP, and so that's why I decided to present these because PSYOP strategies are good for all people, for all students, and I believe that you guys would benefit from using them. So, without further ado, this one just basically talks about the strategies and what they can do for you, and it suggests some strategies. And it's talking about the input and the output and how critical it is that they get those things within the supportive context. Rally Robin is fun. The teacher gets to ask a question again and again, and the students take turns stating their responses. You can put them in pairs and let them talk about it for a minute and then give you a response by calling on them. That's kind of fun. I like that one. Match Mine it's interesting because kids that are having trouble learning language, and this could go for special ed kids or anybody else, but whenever they start doing matching and they start getting the matches right, that tells you that they're ready to go on because they understand the context more or less. Like the example is body systems, famous paintings, map skills, tangrams. So those things could help you out. This is the actual second page. It's pre-production. A pre-production is like giving them advanced content or content in advance of a lesson. Sentence stems are provided for the teacher, by the teacher, and that helps a whole lot. The early production, you get a question and then you provide them with an answer or a way to answer or something like that. Of course, you'll have to read these and to get more in depth with them, but they're fantastic strategies and they're good for any kid, any day of the week to do anything. This Sage and Scribe, this would be at your level 4. So these are good for those students. All right, so what are the levels? Are they grade levels? No. Level 1 is not grade 1. Stage 2 is not grade 2. It's the language acquisition stage. If you have a language learner in your room, I've probably given you some papers that show where they're at in each part of language acquisition and learning and speaking, listening, reading, and writing. All right, let's get on with cooperative roles. Cooperative roles are almost essential in the classroom for language learners because they don't understand as well our ways, and kids that have not been exposed to very much because maybe they live in poverty are the same way. So this is good for our school and good for our kids if we do this. All right, so what are the things that you can do? Well, you can these are some hints for teachers about posting the roles and all that kind of stuff. They're not always required. It's kind of right, but like they should always be built into something. But like you have to build them in. Like the checker has to be built into whatever kind of content that you're presenting and the way that you're presenting it. You can't just say, okay, be a checker. And you have to teach them how. So they give you some examples of what to say and what to do. You need to share with students and give them several different examples of those. Probably my favorite is the reflector, because the reflector just gets to ask some questions, and you can even write these down on a card. How well did we cooperate? Did everyone participate? Did we master all the content? That sort of thing. And the back of it has a thing. It has roll cards, and so like it has recorder on the front for this one. And no, that's not that screamy little device I have to listen to all day. That's the other recorder where you have to write stuff down and ha ha ha. And recorder, it tells like some things to say. You can write those things to say and stuff, or just, print it out for them or whatever. And that way they're not just hanging out there. They can make up their own things to say if you provide them a place. A role pyramid works if you're sharing roles and everybody's going to have different things. They can work much the same way. Moving on, differentiated instruction. If you're not differentiating your instructions, you need to be. No matter if every kid in your class is on the same level and made the exact same score on MAP, you still need to differentiate instruction because they always come to us with different learning abilities, different learning differences, and different experiences that are in their schema, so that they actually need some kind of differentiation. Differentiation is not something that you have to necessarily write in every lesson plan, but a lot of times it's built in. For example, the kids that come to my class for music, a lot of times whenever I'm demonstrating how to play or whatever, I'll say, no, I'm really exaggerating. This is how I want you to do it. Can you do it like this, And I'll show them how to play an instrument or something like that. And that's the sort of thing that causes differentiation. Or maybe, and it's not like saying, oh, well, this kid only has to do 3 while this kid has to do 10. That is a form of differentiation. But it would be better if you say, well, okay, I'm going to give the kid, because they need to know everything, right? So I'm going to give the kid the 10 answers and let them match them to the questions. It would be something more a little bit like that. Or I'm going to give him my, he's really smart, I'm going to give him my lesson plans, and I'm going to let him look that over and see what we're going to do and ask him how he could improve the content. Lots of different ways to differentiate. And this has lots of good resources, and it has lots of good suggestions on how to do that. I like the student support ones. It's like it's kind of goes back to the last card we looked at with all the little jobs in the classroom, aides, assistants, buddies, peers, tutors, volunteers. You can hook people together, and that's a type of differentiation. You can give them some help. And the main thing is we need to teach them all of the content. So this is the back of the card. It's a really long one, but it gives you suggestions for things that you can think of. Cutting the workload down, that was another one. Curriculum, let's see, classroom management tips. I like these. This is probably where I need to spend some more time on classroom management, and that's just being, transparent and telling you like it is. But that's one of the areas I struggle with. But these things usually help me out, and just to know, like this one, don't assume students have the skills to work together successfully. Practice social skills with the class. And so a lot of times I just assume a little bit too much. Moving on. Graphic organizers. I think we beat the horse on graphic organizers for a long time. It was like you have to have a graphic organizer for every lesson for a while in our county. Matter of fact, I had like a book of 50 graphic organizers, and I would just pull one out every day, and that would be the one for the day, and I would figure out how to make it work with my lessons. But they are good things, especially for language learners and for kids with poor experience. And the reason is they can get a picture a little bit more of what you're talking about and what you're presenting. One thing that I like to do with kids is say, which one do you think will work best? So like maybe I'll give them these 3 graphic organizers without the name on it. And I'll say, okay, we're studying the life cycle of a butterfly. Which one do you think would be best to use? A line graph, this circle one, or the steps one? And so they might, choose steps, and they'll say, well, Okay, so it's an egg, and then it's a little pupa and a worm, and then it's a chrysalis, and then it comes out and it's a butterfly. Or they might say, oh, it's got to be this one. You know, there's not a right answer on this. They could do it any way, but it gives them an opportunity to show you how they think. Compare and contrast organizers are the ones that get abused and used a lot. Same and different. Oh Lord, I think I've really abused that one in the past because you just get stuck on things. So this is my um, challenge to you to look at some of these and see if there's one that you can use and to get out of your comfort zone and use one of them. These evaluation ones, I like this one. It's plus, minus, and interesting. So you can put some good things about it, some bad things about it, and some things that interest you. I like that. I thought that was kind of cool. I would probably use that if I was still teaching first grade. All right, let's moving on. We have this is a newer version of the other one I showed you with all of the different. I can't think of the word. All of the different tasks that they have for second language learners, and it kind of helps you with um, just having some variety in your classroom. There's the word I was looking for. You need variety, because kids get tired of doing the same old thing. If you do think, pair, share, and numbered heads together all the time, they get tired of that sort of thing. Um, Also, I wanted to deliver to you one more interesting fact on the back of this one. It has like some different opportunities that you need to give children, like for class building, knowledge building, decision making. If you see that communication skills are poor, it shows you which strategies can help build that up. This roundtable consensus is wonderful. I did it actually with first graders, and we would talk things out. I would give them kind of a scenario or whatever, and they would talk to each other, and they would pass their papers, and and judge their own writing or sometimes other work. And it really worked well because I saw a lot of, hey, you forgot to do this, you want to fix it, that kind of stuff, because they want them to be successful. All right, and I think that's it. Yep, that's all. Um, so why even mention this stuff? Well, it's because on Plan Book, you have these strategies already readily available. Don't look at my password, people. Oh yeah, it's just dots. Just kidding. So whenever you're planning a lesson in your plan book, when it loads, I should have had it up. All right, let's look at this one that I need to plan. If you look at instructional strategies, the Kagan strategies are already in here for you. So if you see one that you like, you can come in and you can pick one of these. And I believe there is a way that you can apply it, but I think there's a way you can like add it to your instructional strategies. If anybody knows how to do that, to add it to my strategies, then can you show me how? Because I've been trying to figure that one out. Anyway, so that would work, and that will help you out hopefully in the meantime. Have a great day, Mr. Harris. I appreciate you listening. Don't forget to sign the sign-in sheet.